Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Kristen, and today we're going to be, or I'm going to be, we will be experiencing some holy fire Reiki energy healing and answering some commonly held questions about Reiki. So if you want, you can go ahead and type some questions into the chat and I will make sure to answer them. We're going to start. The flow is pretty much going to be, we're going to start. We're going to do a little bit of landing. We're going to kind of open this space up, or I'll open the space up, we'll land, and then I'll go ahead and answer some of the questions, and then we'll experience the Reiki. All right, so I'll invite you to tune into yourself in a way that feels good. That can look like closing your eyes. That can look like maybe leaning back further into the chair where you're sitting. That can look like maybe looking up away from the screen, landing into the physical space where you are. And as you do this, as you settle back into your seat, as you maybe let your eyes close or come to a soft gaze, I'll invite you to start deepening your breath. Let's just start breathing here. Tuning into our breath can be a really powerful way to bring us back into this present moment, to help us land. All of us are coming to this session, watching this recording with a lot of other things going on in our lives. So taking a few moments to just take a few deep breaths really helps to differentiate this space from the other things we're doing in our life. So if you are also someone who enjoys movement, I'm going to invite you to do some grounding arm movement here. So as you breathe in, bring your arms up, scoot back a little bit so that I don't hit anything. And then as you're breathing out, just bring your hands down to your heart center. Beautiful. Again, breathe in, pull your arms up above your head as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, just bring your arms down to your heart center. We're going to do 3 more breaths like this. Breathing in, pulling our arms up. Breathing out, bringing that energy right back down to our center line. Again, gathering up all our energy, on our inhale, and centering it. Bringing it back to our core on our exhale. Let's do 2 more like that, actually. Breathing in, arms up. And breathing out, bringing palms together, hands down towards your center line. 1 more. Breathing in. And out. Beautiful. So I will invite you here to just notice, how did that feel? How did that feel to do breaths like that? Mm. Hi there, welcome. We are just getting started. I'm gonna go ahead and lead us on a landing here. Welcome, welcome. My name is Kristen. And as we enter into this space, I'll just invite you to start taking a few deep breaths, just tuning into yourself, giving yourself a little time to differentiate this space from the rest of your day. And if it feels good, because I like doing some movement as I breathe, I will invite you to go ahead and do some inhales. We'll breathe in, bring our arms up above our body if that feels good. And then as we breathe out, palms together, down our middle line. Again, we're breathing in, just coming back to ourselves here, letting our breath bring us home. And if we like that movement, allowing our arms to move up above, imagining that we're gathering our energy back to ourselves, pulling it back down our middle line. Take 2 more breaths like that here. So feel free to continue sinking into your breath, continuing doing any of that body movement that feels good for you to help you land into this space. Again, my name is Kristen. Super glad for the folks who are here live and for the folks who are listening to the recording. I just want to let you know kind of the movement we're going to go through today. So we just landed in space. I'm going to answer some of the questions that I received prior to the session. And if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat and I will answer them These are any questions that we have around Reiki, around energy healing, around what it's like to get a session, what it's like to get attuned. And so I'll talk a little bit about that, and then we will shift in and I will share some Reiki energy healing with all of you so that you can experience the benefits of this potent energy. So before I jump too far deep into what exactly Reiki is, I'll just share a little bit about my own Reiki journey. So I was introduced to Reiki back in, that must have been 2014 or 15. I was going through a lot of changes. I was having kind of a rough time, and my mom suggested that I go and see one of our family friends who is Reiki practitioner. And I was a little hesitant, but went ahead, followed through. And this practitioner was super lovely and wonderful. At the time, it was very scary for me to invest in myself monetarily. I was feeling like, it was just hard to think about spending $100, on myself for an energy healing session or for a massage. And so she really worked with me to help me access the healing. And I felt really grateful for that. And so I was receiving healings for her probably for like a month or two every other week. And I'll say that it was the first time in my life when I experienced calm and peace in my body, in my mind. I'd definitely been someone who held a lot of tension in my body. I'd definitely been someone who kind of moved at a very fast pace all the time. It felt really uncomfortable to slow down. It felt really uncomfortable to be still. And working with and receiving the Reiki really helped my body to calm, right? It increased my capacity to feel a sense of ease being at home in my own body. And after receiving Reiki from her for a while and starting to really like almost come back into relationship with myself, right? Come back into relationship with my felt sense, with my own body, with my own feelings. I got the message while I was receiving Reiki that I should get attuned. And talked to my mom about it, and serendipitously, right, there was one of her friends was doing a training like within a week on my birthday, and I always ask off for my birthday, so I like had off work. I knew I could do the training, and just like that, I was able to step in and get attuned to Reiki. At the time, I was really seeking tools to love and accept myself. I'd been going through a pretty hard breakup, switched careers, and was feeling very self-conscious, very kind of like questioning what I was doing, and very unsure about what I wanted in life. And working with the Reiki, it felt almost magic, right? Where I went to my training, and one of the quotes that was there was like all about, we read this like opening prayer at the very beginning of the class, and it was like, I am here to love myself, right? I am here to reestablish a relationship of generosity and care with myself. And I just remember that feeling of like, wow, like coming home and being like, wow, this could not be more perfect timing for me. And so fast forward, I got the Reiki training. I worked with that teacher that was up in Chicago. We went through level 1, which is for self-healing, level 2, which is like the ability to kind of share Reiki with others, and then level 3, which is the level of being able to teach it to others. So I did that, and then a lot of good life changes happened. I ended up moving down to New Orleans. And then in New Orleans, I worked with another teacher because I wasn't feeling that confident about teaching. And so I worked with another teacher and a friend, and we did kind of a 3-month kind of immersion, learning different tools, different practices, and ways to work with the energy, teach the energy. And so that was really beautiful. And then more recently, so that's like the Asui Reiki. They call that the traditional kind of Reiki. And I'll get into that kind of like logistics in a minute. But more recently, within the last few years, I worked with a teacher. I was working with her as a coach, as a business coach, and she also teaches Reiki. And she worked with this version of Reiki called Holy Fire Reiki, which essentially to me just feels like a systems upgrade, right? It feels like the difference between like maybe like a flip phone for the traditional Reiki and like a smartphone with like what we have now, right? Where it's like the technology, the energy just evolved, right? Where it's like our capacity as individuals on this planet, and as, just the planet in general, our capacity to hold higher and higher amounts of this like vibrational, loving energy, high frequency energy has just, our capacity has increased. So the energy can evolve, right? So she worked with me, and I went through another series of Reiki trainings, level 1, again, for self-healing, level 2 to share. And then the third level, which was really exciting, was teaching how to teach online, right? Prior to pretty much the shutdown, there'd been a lot of back and forth about whether or not we could teach Reiki, do Reiki attunements online and have it be beneficial. And during that time, one of her teachers pretty much got the download and the message like, this can be done online. I'll show you how, do this. This needs to be shared. And so I was part of kind of this first cohort of folks being trained to do that. And truthfully, I found it to be super, super potent, whether it's receiving distance Reiki or receiving the attunement distantly via the internet, or like over the interwebs. And the reason I say that is because like as someone who's highly sensitive, as someone who identifies as an introvert, there's something really potent and powerful about receiving energy healing in our own space, right? We tend to be a lot more comfortable in our own space. We're at home, right? We're at ease from the get-go. And so there is this kind of like less of a barrier almost for us to relax because we are in our own space, right? Same thing with receiving the attunements, right? I've received the attunements both in person and distantly. And there's something like really potent about having that like sovereign space as we're having these energy upgrades, mainly for me, because I felt a lot more comfortable trusting the intuition of my body, right? So when I was getting trained to do Reiki and she's sending the Reiki and the upgrades are happening, and I'm by myself in my room, I wanted to get up and move around and dance a little bit. And I don't think I would have felt comfortable doing that if I was sitting in circle and everyone else was like sitting in meditation. And so there's some really beautiful kind of like self-trust that can come out, some sovereignty that happens when we are in our own space. Again, right, there's no right or wrong way. Some people do prefer in person, some people do prefer distance. I've done both. I like both, but I do really love distance just because of how easy it feels. Yeah, so that's a little snippet of my journey. And so I'll just jump right into talking about like what is Reiki, right? So Reiki is a form of high vibrational energy, right? Some describe it as the energy of pure unconditional love. Some describe it as like spiritually charged life force energy. It is a Japanese word, right? It is a healing tradition that started in Japan. And Reiki literally does translate as like spiritually wise or spiritual life force energy, chi, right? And so there is this, this spiritual kind of like divine quality to it. The other beautiful thing about it though, is that it's not denominational, right? It's not rooted in any particular like religious doctrine. And so folks from all different walks of life and beliefs work with this energy in different ways and find ways that it helps kind of like amplify their own spiritual practice, their own faith. Some people will describe Reiki as a healing tool, right? As a tool for healing. I definitely think of it more as like an energetic, like being, entity, ally, right? So I think of working with Reiki as like being in relationship with the energy as opposed to like using the energy, right? And it's just like subtle kind of like language stuff there. And again, it is spiritually wise, unconditionally loving life force energy. And when we work with it regularly, it can really facilitate some deep healing, both on a physical level, right? But also on like ancestral levels, like soul lineage levels. And it can just really restore balance, right? Energetic balance. One of the ways that I like to talk about like how it can help us heal, so to speak, is that, when something happens in our life that is jarring, traumatic, painful, harmful, right? We might have like a physical manifestation of that pain. So like recently, right? Like I tripped while I was walking and I scraped my knee, right? And I have a scab that's forming there. But then I also might then hold some maybe fear in my body of falling, right? So there might be some stuck energy in my body that I'm like hyper conscious and aware that I don't want to trip on the curb. And so there's this kind of like residual tension that's in my body. And so I can put like Neosporin on the cut, right? And that's going to help my skin and my physical body heal. But then the Reiki and the energy healing can help me to then soften any of the other residual ways that minor, bump in the road might have stuck into my field and made me, impacted me in the future, right? So it's this way of kind of like combing, softening, detangling energy from our bodies, right? From our experiences. So what happens during a Reiki session and how to prepare. So for distance in particular, how to prepare is literally just like finding a comfortable place for yourself to be within your home, in your backyard, where you're ideally not going to be disturbed. I really encourage folks to lay down because it really does encourage us to like surrender a little bit more, but we can also receive it while we're sitting. I've definitely known people who like to move, like the energy makes them want to move. And so, that is totally cool too. But I will say that there is something really powerful about like the stilling and allowing the energy to do its work on us and with us. And so we'll in the beginning often talk about like, is there a specific issue that you want this to address, whether it's a physical issue, or maybe, we're struggling to manifest abundance, or we're struggling to, love ourselves or find love in our life, right? So there's a myriad of different ways that the Reiki can work with us. And really it's about intention setting. Something I love about this energy is that it respects our free will, right? It's not going to work with us if we don't give it permission. It's not going to like just help us without us asking for the help. And so this beginning part of a session is so beautiful because it is that intention setting, that permission giving, saying, I want the Reiki to help me to, manifest abundance, or, find true love, or heal this pain that's in my lower back. And again, that permission is so important with this energy because it's not going to work with us if we aren't allowing it to work with us. And that's one of the other things I think is really beautiful. Is just that like, it really speaks to like our free will. And so during a session, so again, I said, lay down, you can set the mood for yourself if you want to like light a candle or any of that. If you want to have a journal, if you're a journaler, ready to just kind of like jot things down after the session. And during the session, it's very likely that you'll experience some like deep relaxation. It often feels like very meditative or trance-like. You might feel like warm tingles or just warmth. Or, I've had friends who I've done distance Reiki for where they're like, it felt like your hand was like on my body, so you might feel some of that pressure. It's very likely that you will feel relaxed. You might even doze off. I often kind of like doze off or go into a trance when I'm receiving Reiki. I've also heard from a lot of folks that I work with that they kind of like cycle through a lot of like memories or thoughts. Like they've described it as like, it felt like a newsreel or something like that, like playing in their mind of like memories. And that's super common. The invitation is just to like, let those thoughts, memories flow and not really attach to it. And honestly, you might also just feel nothing at all. And that's totally fine as well. The energy is super, super gentle. And so it's gonna work with us in a way that's perfect for us in this moment in time. And so, the hope is that you feel relaxed. And I know that for me, again, as I named in the beginning, that when I first started working with Reiki, like I really struggled with being still. Like I tried to meditate and I would just like be still for like a minute and be like, this sucks, I hate this. And working with the Reiki has really helped me to be still, right? To find that like calm space within myself, to cultivate that calm space within myself. And it's really helped me to like not feel as like volatile, touchy, and temperamental in a lot of my work and a lot of my life, which has been really nice. So after a session, so what can I expect to feel after a session? There is likely that you'll feel like a sense of calm in your body. You might feel a sense of like quiet mind or peace of mind. Some folks have had like old symptoms kind of like emerge, but then like, go away really quick. So it feels like one of those like, it's coming up for healing so that the cycles can be completed and released. And I'll also say too that the energy, as I mentioned, like works with us in a way that is perfect for us in this moment in time. And so sometimes it will continue working with us over a couple like sleep cycles. And so we can just expect to, yeah, to feel stuff being cleared, maybe to feel a little bit lighter, to feel maybe some heaviness be released. And again, we might have stuff that emerges in our life that feels uncomfortable maybe, but it's one of those like healing invitations, right? Where we have to look at the uncomfortable things so that we can heal it and move beyond it. And maybe we've been avoiding it, and the Reiki's like, hey, boo, look at this, because I want you to, evolve and move beyond this. So we need to address it. And so sometimes there is that feeling of like slight discomfort as part of the healing process. Again, I'm thinking of this scab on my knee where it's like, it itches a little bit and like, don't need to be scratching it, let it be kind of thing. And so there's this invitation for us to really just like trust, have faith in ourselves, have faith in the energy. The other piece I'll mention as well is that our bodies are magnificent beings, creatures, and these bodies of ours do have so much power to heal ourselves, right? Like, again, I'm thinking of like an ability of our skin to heal, the way that like we can just like heal many things. And so the Reiki will also kind of like reignite our own body's ability to do its work, right? Whether that is through like processing oxygen or like digestion stuff, or releasing toxins from our body via liver and kidney. And so there is this way in which it empowers us. It rebuilds our capacity to heal ourselves. So one of the questions that I love is, who is Reiki for? Very simply, Reiki is for everyone. It's a super gentle, like therapy / healing art. And it's appropriate for anyone from like babies to seniors. I've given my family's cats love Reiki. They like love it. I have friends whose dogs love it. And again, like, it's so funny because I've met some animals where like, I don't want anything to do with the Reiki. I'll start doing Reiki and they like book it out of the room. And then some animals that I start doing the Reiki and they're like whining at the door, like, let me in, I want some. So, just like people, right? We all have that ability to choose whether or not we want to receive it or not. And yeah, it's just a beautiful thing that can be shared. I'll say as well that like I'm very connected with the earth. So I'll often send Reiki to the earth, to my plants, to my food. And so it really can be used in so many different ways. But when we're talking about a session, it's really for anyone, anyone who feels called, anyone who feels called or is ready. And so I just want to name, because I've gotten a lot of questions about like, what are the benefits of Reiki? I think a lot of people like see Reiki as a way to like heal physical ailments. And like, I've heard it talked about with like, helping people like after surgery, or like, folks who are receiving like chemo and radiation, receiving Reiki and having that support their healing journey. And so, yes, it can totally heal and work with us around physical ailments. And I know a lot of people like seek out Reiki for that reason. And I'll say that I tend to work with folks who are wanting to heal and release like negative stuck energy, right? Beliefs, and negative energy or stuck energy that's like stored in our physical bodies and in our minds, right? Limiting beliefs. And it can really help to calm our mind, create feelings of inner peace, release feelings of anxiety, release feelings of stress and agitation. It can help us sleep better, honestly. It can support us in healing like really deep emotional issues and traumas. And it can also open and expand our intuition, connecting us with our inner knowing, helping to uncover and bring forth our own ability to heal ourselves, to heal others, to heal our world. And it can also really align us with our kind of soul purpose, our mission, our authentic self, that like source point of origin. It can really just bring us home in a way, right? Reconnect us with our with our true power, with our inner source of power. I'll also say as well that I've worked with a lot of folks around like using Reiki to heal like ancestral trauma, right? Like ancestral patterns patterns, beliefs, right? Scarcity, certain fears, right? That have been passed down generation to generation to generation, and working with them to be generational pattern breakers, right? To break those patterns of, whether it's like fear of scarcity or staying small or, like, yeah, any of these kind of beliefs that get passed down to us from our elders, and we don't necessarily want to carry that with us anymore. And similarly with soul lineage, if you're a person who believes in reincarnation, multiple lives, it can help us to kind of heal any of the traumas, fears, that we carry with us from other lifetimes, right? From other journeys that we've had. And so it can really, in that way, I see it really helping us to embody our mission, because it can release some of these blocks that like aren't really ours, that were placed on us, right? That we were like kind of born into, releasing some of that so that we can move beyond that, right? And create something bigger and something better for ourselves. On that note as well, I'll say, for when we're talking about Reiki and free will and collective healing and stuff, I've also seen it work really powerfully around like collective issues, right? Where like, we tend to think of ourselves as individuals, right? We're just, in these bodies, we're separate from each other. But on an energy level, we're all interconnected, right? We're all interconnected. And so when there is a lot of like collective fear, right? A lot of us probably felt this over the last couple of years during shutdown, right? When the collective is super scared, that fear energy is potent. It vibrates, right? It becomes part of us, right? Where we are scared, and it's not necessarily, we don't know why we're scared, and like, it doesn't make sense that we're scared because we're like, okay, but we can feel that fear, we can feel that collective anxiety. I've seen this play out at like, if we go to like out in the world, right? And one person starts to kind of fire off fear, it'll trickle into the rest of our bodies. And I'll name that like, this is a way that we like used to keep ourselves safe, right? Like, especially when we were maybe a little bit more nomadic, right? If one person sees a tiger and they get scared, we want the whole group to know that like there's danger. We don't want to have to just say like, look out, like that might take too much time. And so having that kind of ripple through our energy bodies was a way that we kept ourselves safe as a collective, right? That we kept our groups safe. We kept our kinship circles safe. And so it's really beautiful. And it can also, it can be challenging, right? Because we don't necessarily want to carry the fear of some random stranger or our neighbor or even like our loved ones, right? Like we want to have maybe some energetic sovereignty, some boundaries. And so the Reiki can really help us to heal that energy between bodies and also create some good energetic boundaries for ourselves so that we're not just like sponging up everyone's stuff, and we can have a little bit more sovereignty, a little bit more sacred space. Okay, so those are most of the questions I had specifically about receiving Reiki sessions. I'll just name as well. So attunement or getting trained in Reiki, like why might someone want to do that? Of course, right, like a lot of people talk about getting trained for Reiki to, start a Reiki business and become a Reiki practitioner and share Reiki. And that is totally a valid and beautiful reason to get trained in Reiki. When we're talking about like Reiki 1, which is particularly for self-healing, to me, it feels like a way to really like reclaim our power, our ability to heal ourselves, right? To really move out of this like kind of like victim mentality where like everything's happening to us, and move into like an empowered like state of being where we like direct our choice more, use our energy with more consciousness, and are really kind of like taking control, so to speak, of our not control, but a little bit, right? Like taking our power back in that way, taking our abilities back, reclaiming our ability to really heal ourselves. I'll say as well that it's such a powerful modality for folks who are sharing their message with the world, sharing their gifts with the world. I've worked with folks who are starting their own business, who are really like stepping out of the norm, right? Like stepping into a whole new way of being. And working with the Reiki can really help to like fortify our sense of self so that we feel confident and comfortable doing that. I know so many of my friends who are like small business owners, who when they're like, "Oh, you do Reiki? That's so funny. I was attuned to Reiki years and years ago. Like, I don't really work with it, but like, yeah, I know what that is." And it always makes me laugh because it's like, yeah, we're not consciously maybe using the Reiki in our business, but because we've established that relationship with the energy, it is supporting us, right? Supporting us to you know, meet our goals or own our desires and really claim our longings, and feel that sense of confidence, right? Because it can be really scary to step outside of the norm, right? All of us just want to be loved and to belong. And so when we step outside of the norm and there's that fear that maybe we'll lose love because we're doing all this weird stuff and it's people don't get it, and we're maybe scared that we're going to lose belonging because we're again like doing things different than it's ever been done before, that can trigger a lot of our fears and insecurities. And so working with the Reiki energy can really just help to support us and help to remind us that we're not in this alone, right? That there are forces other than like human forces, like greater forces that are supporting us, that are here for us, right? To lean into. The other piece that I'll just name too, because I've said that Reiki is this spiritually wise, unconditionally loving life force energy, that's not necessarily connected to any religious dogma. And so Master Usui is kind of attributed with the kind of like birthing, sharing Reiki with the world. And so he started working or went on a spiritual journey and downloaded the Reiki in like the late 1800s or so. And then, Reiki popularized and kind of started being shared more globally in the like mid 1900s. So it's still like a pretty recent thing. But one of his big, tenets that hasn't been grabbed onto by a lot of the Western practitioners, but one of his big tenets was he believed, so he was involved in like monastery, like kind of like monk type of religious life. And he believed that we all deserved to have access to spiritual enlightenment, that we all deserved to have access to the divine without having to go through any kind of like intermediaries, without anyone kind of like telling us what is. He believed that like we all have the right to this spiritual enlightenment, and he saw Reiki as a tool to support us on our spiritual journey, on our journey to reclaim our soul power, our divine oneness, whatever it is that you believe. But I love that piece of it because it feels like this like deeply empowering practice, right? Where like it is about really tuning back into our inner authority, tuning back into our inner knowing, right? Like we have teachers who teach us stuff, but at the end of the day, like it's about coming home to like what we believe is true, what we believe is right, and working with that, negotiating that, kind of playing with that. And so I personally love that piece, especially because we live in a world that really teaches us that we need to like look outside of ourselves to find the answers, that we need to look to external authorities to find truth, right? To know. And there's something really profound and beautiful about this idea that we hold the answers in ourselves already, and that we have the like that inner authority to really like claim that knowing for ourselves. So I love that piece of the kind of like origin story of Reiki, that it was like a way to reclaim our own spiritual enlightenment, like detached from any certain like organized religion or religious dogma, so that we could find a way that spirituality can work with us. All right, so I want to be mindful of time so that we have time to share the Reiki energy. If there's any other questions that are coming up, please feel free to drop them in the chat. And if not, that's totally cool too. And we'll just drop in to some Reiki. If there is a specific intention that you have, you can drop it in the chat. You can just kind of hold it in your own mind's eye or heart. If you are a journaler, you can write it down. If you're on your own and you feel comfortable, you can say it out loud. And so I'll just invite the Reiki to work with each of us who are here live, work with all of us who are watching the recording around this intention that we set out loud, in writing, internally. And as I open up this Reiki channel, as I invite this Holy Fire Reiki to work with you, I will encourage you to just make yourself comfortable, right? If you want to be any more comfortable than you are right now, please do that. If you need a blanket, you need some water, you need to go to the bathroom, feel free to give your body what it needs. And then as you feel ready, I'll invite you to just let your eyes close if that feels comfortable, or hold soft gaze. Just start to breathe in and out. And as you breathe, I'll invite that Holy Fire Reiki to put you in a column of light. To radiate golden, loving energy all around your physical body, helping to clear your aura. Helping to soften any energy that is feeling sharp, spiky, or frantic. Also, just invite that Holy Fire Reiki, that loving life force energy, to just fill your physical space, fill your room, so that even after this session, you can move through the energy of love as you move throughout the rest of your day. And as you breathe here, I'll just invite you with every inhale to open yourself to receive. And with every exhale, just be willing to let go. Let go of anything that doesn't serve you. Let go of anything that's not rightfully yours. Breathing in, just allowing ourselves to receive healing energy, to receive exactly what we need to receive in this moment, in this time. And as you breathe out, just allow yourself to surrender a little bit more, to let go a little bit more. Breathing in, filling your body with air, feeling that receptivity of your body. Breathing out, just letting go, releasing, maybe allowing your jaw to relax, maybe allowing your tongue to fall from the roof of your mouth. Maybe noticing if you're holding tension around your eyes, around your shoulders, and just inviting some relaxation to that space, allowing the Reiki to help bring some relaxation into your physical body. And as you continue to breathe here, settle in here, invite that Holy Fire Reiki to begin spiraling in through the crown of your head. Beautiful, warm, golden light spiraling in through the crown of your head. Spiraling down through your third eye chakra near your brow. Spiraling all the way down through your throat. Spiraling down from your throat towards your heart. Charging your heart with loving light, amplifying your own loving energy there. As you breathe here, maybe you want to imagine that your heart begins to glow with this golden, loving light. And that Reiki energy continues to spiral down towards your solar plexus and your core, spiraling down your back body, down your spine, towards your sacral space, under your belly button, spiraling down out of your root chakra at the base of your spine. Spiraling down into the earth, connecting you with the earth, And as this energy continues to move in through the crown of your head, and down your central spinal column, and continue to breathe, inviting it to fill you, take up more space, giving it permission to take from you anything that's ready to be released, anything that's not yours, anything that's ready to be completed. Visualizing, imagining it move out from your body into the earth, into the earth like compost. Everything you release will help regenerate new life. It's okay to let it go. It's okay to let it go. It will help regenerate life. And as you breathe here, maybe you want to imagine that the Reiki is moving down your arms all the way down to your fingertips, bringing ease and release to your muscles and your joints. Maybe you wish to imagine that it's moving down from your hips, down your thighs, towards your ankles and your feet. Right. Inviting relaxation and release into your muscles, into your bones, into your joints. Now I invite you to keep breathing here. Now allow this Reiki energy to continue working with you in the perfect way for you in this moment. Now I invite you to continue breathing. Continue to hold that energy of surrender, giving that energy permission to work with you. Trusting this experience that you're having. And allow this energy to continue working with us. I'll pause back in a few moments here. Oh, from this space, I'll invite you to just start deepening your breath once again. And as we move towards the completion of this energy healing, I'll invite that holy fire Reiki to slowly start easing off, allowing that channel to close. Inviting that energy to continue holding us in its loving embrace. And we can imagine that almost like a faucet, that golden light, which was spiraling in through the crown of our head, slowly begins to close. And as we breathe here, we can feel that residual energy spiraling down through our face and skull, through our throat, through our chest and our belly, spiraling down towards our hips, releasing out through the base of our spine into the earth, spiraling down our legs, releasing out through the bottoms of our feet into the earth. Sending some gratitude out to the Reiki. Reiki, thank you so much for working with each of us. Thank you for this healing. Thank you for this opportunity to sink deeper into relationship with ourselves and our own ability to heal, create balance, restore harmony. Then maybe sending gratitude to yourself. If it feels good, you can place hands somewhere on your body. Just send some love to yourself for showing up for yourself in this way, for taking this time out of your day, for being willing to receive, for being willing to let go. This is huge. It's monumental. Send yourself some gratitude. Send yourself some appreciation. And as we close this healing session, I'll see if the Reiki wants to channel in any guidance for us. The Reiki wishes us to remember that we are more powerful than we've been led to believe. That we are not as separate as our physical bodies may lead us to think that we are. That we can easily tap into this energy and our own healing abilities. And that we're needed here right now. All righty. Well, thank you so much for joining me. For those of you who are here live, thank you. I'll close this healing session. Close this Reiki healing session. Know that you can revisit this energy at any time. If you want to rewind and hear it again, you can totally do that. If you want to stay in with the healing energy, you can totally do that. Again, my name is Kristen. I'm the founder of Roots of Radiance Reiki, and I'm a Reiki teacher and a Reiki healer and a life coach, a certified life coach. And so if you would like to learn more about how you can work with this energy, if you would like to receive this energy, and if you would like to be coached, receive some coaching so that you can really reclaim your power, right? So that you can learn tools to prioritize and care for yourself, so that you can tune back into your intuition and really start to live in alignment with your longing, with your desires, with your soul's calling. Please reach out to me. My books are open. I'm here. Again, well, thank you so much for everyone who showed up live. Thank you for all of you who are watching the recording. And I'll include all my links and stuff below. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. My email is down there. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear how this experience felt for you. If you want to type that in the chat, if you want to send me an email. Always open to new friends, new partners, new collaborators. So if you're feeling called, please do not hesitate to reach out, and I will see you next time. Bye now.